What's up, guys? In today's video, I want to focus on evergreen print-on-demand niches, because if you guys caught the top 5 niches of the week for this week, well, you already noticed that I mentioned we were really at a lack of obvious t-shirt trends in the present, right? We know there are some forward-looking trends that we can prepare for in August. We also know that with the state of the world, you never know when the next big thing is going to pop up overnight and make, whoever's early to it with t-shirts a lot of money. But as of right now, it seems like it's a good time to either be taking a week off from uploading, which, I mean, if you're like me, there's no weeks off, or maybe just focus on evergreens. I think that's really where we build the meat, of our portfolio of designs, because the evergreens are the ones that we can bank on selling year round. They're not tied to a specific time of year, holiday, or event. Okay, so that's what we're focusing on in this video. I'm going to share some evergreen niches with you, show you some examples of trends versus evergreens, and then show you some sources for ideas of evergreen niches. So let's get started. Real quick reminder, I've got some free resources for you, all linked at the top of the description. I've got my print-on-demand weekly giveaway, completely free. 2 winners will be randomly selected and announced this Sunday. I've got my free 8-day print-on-demand mini course delivered via email, and I've got a great print-on-demand Facebook group that I'd love to have you in if you're not already a member. All right, so this is what the top 12 niches on Merch by Amazon, which to me is indicative of pretty much like all the opportunity within print on demand. We know that Merch by Amazon has probably the strictest content policy, so that actually is a good thing in the respect that it filters out the stuff we shouldn't be selling, right? So as long as we know to skip over the big brands, and when you use a tool like Pretty Merch Pro Plus, like I've used here behind me, it's going to filter out most of, if not the vast majority of the protected brands, which is nice because then we only see shirts that we actually can sell, or niches that we can sell. Now, what do you notice about all these behind me? Well, they're pretty much all evergreens, right? We got the classic car, we got the Pluto, dinosaur alphabet, admit it, life would be boring without me. Got a shirt that says howdy, howdy, howdy. I don't know what that's referring to. The phases of the moon. Punctuation, T-Rex, let's eat kids, a bunch of math shirts, some anime shirts, etc. Okay, you get the point, right? A bunch of evergreens. And more power to the owners of these shirts, because they're probably making money hand over fist year round. When there's a big trend, for instance, just a week ago, we were talking about the pro Roe, Roe v. Wade, right to choose niche. Well, this is a big trend, but the trends tend to come and go very quickly, as evidenced by the BSRs that you see here. The average BSR behind me is probably around, let's just say 100,000. All right. And if this was a week or 2 ago, the average BSR might be about 10,000. Okay. So these trends, they do tend to come and go. If you're positioned to benefit from a trend ahead of the trend itself, you can make a lot of money. Or if you just know the trend is coming and you position yourself, you can make a lot of money. It's not that you can't make money being late to a trend, but it's definitely harder, right? It's definitely harder because we know how these algorithms work. When we say algorithm, I mean like Amazon algorithm or Etsy algorithm. The listings generating a lot of sales have the history of the sales, and the algorithm knows that, hey, this listing is likely to perform well when someone searches for whatever the set of keywords is, and they're going to get priority placement. Sales tends to be a function of how many people see your product. So the more visibility you get, the more clicks you get, the more sales you get. All right. We all know these concepts by now, hopefully. If you're new, by the way, it's all good. You learn with time. Anyways, we are focusing, since there's no big obvious trend, right? We just looked at the top 12, and I could have kept scrolling. All right. And there's not much repetition of niches. So we're going to focus on trends versus evergreens really quickly. Let me show you some examples. In this case of, like, if we're selling shirts to dads, here behind me, we see dad-related shirts, but they're all related to St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so are you a dad? Yes. Is it St. Patrick's Day? No. Okay, so this is a trend version of a shirt for dads tied to, like, cross-niched with St. Patrick's Day. We call that a trend. And you can actually see that here in the BSR history behind me, brought to you by Helium 10. And this is, if you zoom out, you can see, well, the shirt's not selling that well, not selling that well, not selling that well. Oh, we're heading into the St. Patrick's Day date, and all of a sudden the BSR falls off a cliff and it starts making a bunch of sales. Okay, that's evidenced as a trend. If you want to monitor trends, by the way, check out the Bubble Scout Chrome extension for free. You can install it and it'll show you another way of monitoring trends, the top 20 trending designs on Redbubble. So it's a nice free way of monitoring like a second platform. I look mostly at merch by Amazon, but hey, why not check out Redbubble as well? Redbubble definitely got a more global audience, I would say. Now, when it comes to evergreens, let's look at dad shirts that are evergreen. Well, the first shirt, dad of the birthday girl. Okay, in that case, it's a dad shirt. And the other qualifier is not that it's St. Patrick's Day. That way, it's only one time of year. It's that they have a girl and that it's their birthday approaching. Okay, got it. So you're still not making a completely broad appeal shirt for dads, but it's also okay to niche down. When you niche down, it helps you, number one, like refine your customer base and ideally reduce your competition. The other shirt here, dad of twins. So again, it's not a Father's Day, but it's a shirt for dads. And in this case, the qualifier is you have twins. Another example, I heart my dad. That's a very generic shirt. And it says, I heart my dad. So I guess in this case, I heart my dad. That's actually not for the dads, is it? It's for the kids. And then behind me here, proud dad, it's a girl. Proud new dad, it's a girl. So a dad that's having their first kid. These are shirts that can sell year round. And we know the qualifiers are basically that they're, in 3 of the 4 that they're dads. And I guess in the one, it's for the kids to say, I love my dad. Either way, these are considered evergreens. They're not tied to a specific broad event. If I say a broad event, I mean like St. Patrick's Day is the same date every year for everybody. Whereas, any number of men can have a newborn daughter any day of the year, right? Now, when it comes to finding trends, I do often like to look to Google Trends. Now, I know this is about evergreens, but if you're wondering if something is more of an evergreen or a trend, well, you can always type in a topic into the search bar. Before I do that, though, let me just show you the homepage. It actually puts things in front of you that are trending in terms of the Google search bar, and you can click to expand it. All right, you can see recent trends, etc. You can see year in search, year over year, and you can actually get a bunch of the annual trends. Some of those do carry over year. But if I was to type in like football and search this, and by default it shows us the past 12 months. If we expand that to like last 5 years, you'll probably see in terms of, and you could say football is an evergreen technically, but also it's going to see a spike during what? During football season. And if we compare that to sports that maybe are played in like the opposite season, which I'm trying to think of like baseball maybe, and compare the two, we'd probably see, number one, we see that football is a lot more popular in America than football, but we already knew that. Football is a lot more popular than baseball. And then you can see here that like baseball is peaking when football is basically, out of sight, out of mind, because it's like football off season is when baseball season really picks up and vice versa. So this is a nice way of gauging what is trending. And then also, you can also kind of determine if it's evergreen, like if it's a generic sport that people really like, that they play, etc. That can still be an evergreen that just sees a peak interest time at a certain time of year. Also, there's a difference between the sport itself, like football, and the NFL. So if you're going to sell shirts related to people that like the sport, just make sure not to infringe on those big brands. But I just wanted to show you guys that the Google Trends tool is really nice when it comes to, trends versus evergreens. Now, I wanted to show you a list of just a few examples of high-level evergreen niches, and I actually pulled this from the Flying Research print-on-demand research tool. It is one of my favorite ones to use, but they have a couple sections just built into the tool that make our lives really easy because they basically are just putting ideas together for us. So if we sit down, we're like, all right, I'm going to get some designs done today. I always like to design in batches and then upload in batches rather than kind of have a fragmented workflow where I do a design and then upload and, I don't know. You got to do what works for you, but for me, I like to do batches. So if I'm going to do a batch of designs and I need some ideas, well, okay, some evergreen niches. I pulled these from Flying Research, but here we go. Family, sports, work, jobs, pets, hobbies, fandom. And if you actually use the tool, and this is actually, I checked with them, this is only a part of the paid plan. So they do have like a free account that you can use, but it's a little bit limited in the features. I will, of course, include a link in the description if you want to check it out. Now, they also have some Evergreen Hobbies, and they actually have a pretty extensive list with descriptions of the hobbies in their Evergreen Hobbies section built into the tool. So things like making money, jobs, cheap activities, men's favorite activities, women's favorite activities, couples activities, family activities, indoor, outdoor, things to do in your 20s, things to do in your 30s, things to do if you're over 50 or retired. And then they've got some additional categories as well, like fun, cool, unique, creative, interesting, expensive. So a lot of qualifiers there. But ultimately what this really breaks down and boils down into is lists of high-level niches that I would then recommend niching down from. So you don't just say, okay, cheap activities, and then go make a cheap activity shirt. No, like type that into the Amazon search bar, see where it takes you. Or if you're in flying research, you can actually just like go to any of the subcategories included underneath there, because these are all the category headers. And you can either search in their app, or you can have it search on Google. You can have it search in their real-time research. So a lot of cool ways to kind of dig down and find opportunities. Again, I always like to, well, it depends, right? Because I'm in merch tier 200,000, so I don't need to always find validated ideas. But if you're in lower merch tiers and those upload slots really matter a lot more, well, I do recommend validating that there are actually people out there buying the niche that you are going to design in before doing so. Because yeah, your upload slots matter a lot more if you have fewer of them. If you have 200,000 of them, different story. Also, just being transparent here. Like I just, while I was prepping this video, finished uploading 200 new Vexels designs to my Etsy store, okay? And sometimes I'll alter them, edit them, move them around, cut out a piece that I like, add some text, manipulate them. You can do all of that, or you can actually just use them as is, depending on what you want to do. You can see here, actually, this is the pricing table behind me. I use the Merch Plus plan, so I get 200 downloads a month. You can also get custom design requests, by the way, so you can see that there as well. And yeah, so new month. Well, I guess it's middle of July now, but it's been a long month. I went ahead, downloaded 200 like 2 weeks ago, and then honestly have just been like optimizing the SEO. I've got my kind of approach to break them out so that it's SEO optimized, and I keep them in spreadsheets. Then I queue them up for uploads. I use Flying Upload, by the way, which is tied to Flying Research that we were just looking at, to upload them to Printify and then to my Etsy store, because I'm really liking Printify's pricing advantage over Printful, at least with regards to Etsy. And then also I'm going to use Merch Titan's upload automation and upload them to Merch by Amazon soon. So I did just want to make you guys aware that this is something I do, right? Like I have a lot of upload slots on Merch by Amazon. I got a lot of free uploads on Etsy, because one of the benefits of having a YouTube channel is when you use a link to get your 40 free listings. Well, guess what? I get 40 free listings. So just, you know, being transparent there. So check out Vexels as well. I'll put a link in the description. I know you got a lot of you guys are already using them. So make sure if you do pay for Vexels that you actually utilize it. All right. You get 200 downloads a month. Make sure you use them. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I do have my full print on demand course. Of course, if you want to know more about how to design or how to research evergreens and trends, well, I do have a niche print on demand niche research course and print on demand design course. It's all included in my master course, which I call the Dropship Print on Demand course. You can find out more using the link in the description. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please like and subscribe, and then I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.